Welcome Strategy Battle Gamers to another GBHL YouTube channel video. You're here with channel host GBHL James, bringing you another week's edition of Speak, Friend and Question. Here on my own this week, answering your questions. Make sure you've got all of your paints out so you can really get ahead of your backlog. We've got 35 questions this week, guys, so I'll try and get through them as quick as possible, give you some good answers. Apologies that I am on my own this week. We will try and change that for next week, of course. I have tried, I have to say, I have tried. Not just with Jamie, of course. Me and Jamie always try and meet up. If we can't do it, then we can't do it. But I have tried to actually do it this week, where I'd be able to get somebody else involved, but everyone's let me down. So, anyway, you will have to just bear with me. I hope you don't mind. So first question this week is Aquathlon39. How's it going, Aquathlon? He's put, feels strange with things going back to normal, me asking questions and you several days later responding back. I'm really looking forward to October, of which I have to come to DOS 2015 part 2, or whatever it's decided to be called. So this is Aquathlon with his post-tournament blues, clearly. We all experience it. This will be your first time experiencing this. First time experiencing that bit where you get back from a tournament and you think, oh, I've got to be back in the real world. I just want to play Toy Soldiers. So yeah, if you want to get involved with the next Desolation of Stockport event, whatever we decide to call it in October, then make sure you keep an eye out for that. We will release details soon. I will put together a rules pack before I go away on my wedding. Okay, you put 1. You asked for any suggestions for points costs, etc. I think it might be cool for you to do something around the 750 point tournament. That's a bit different to the normal Desolation of Stockports, but possibly do what Mid-Sussex Wargaming do. Have your 2 most expensive models add up to at least 250 points. This way, we'll see some really cool toys being used, and as DOS is normally the one to go to for first timers, it might encourage people to bring really cool stuff like Aragorn, Azog. What do you guys think? Yeah, I really liked what they did there. You know, it's a good way of having, like you say, getting the big toys involved without, you know, if you just say 750 points, then it does mean sometimes you can get those armies which are just spamming loads of troops and stuff, and that can really slow the game down. So I really did like that about what's the event called? The East Grinstead events. And have historically done quite well at the East Grinstead events as well. So I might think about doing something like that. I really like the idea of doing another sort of escalation. So I wonder if we could do something like, you know, on day 1, it's a 500 point tournament, you know, standard stuff. But one of your heroes or one of the models has to come to over 125 points maybe, and then at 750 when you do escalation, you've got to bolster it so that again your top 2 heroes come to over 250 points, even if that's on, you know, what you've done on the first day. Maybe something like that. I'll have a good think and we'll see what we can come up with. Number 2, you put, for my Dwarven list, I'm trying to weigh up what is the perfect mixture of troops I should have. For 600 points, how much do you think I should spend on heroes, regular dwarf troops, Khazad Guards, Iron Guards, Vault Warden teams? Okay, so 600 points, I would say you want to be having 3 heroes. I would probably go for trying to get 3 heroes and try and fill as much warbands as you can. It's always good to have. Most people tend to go elite when they go for dwarves, and that's because they're relatively cheap compared to their regular troop counterparts. So for example, Khazad Guard are always very, very popular. Of course, they do have the issue that because you will usually be outnumbered by other sort of normal armies when you're dwarves, because they're reasonably expensive, it does mean that it's a bit of a problem that they can't shield. I know that sounds funny. So definitely worth trying to get a banner in there. Try and fill up, maybe have a good warband or so of Khazad Guard. Try and get some Iron Guard in there. 1 or 2 Vault Warden teams should be enough. Vault Warden teams are really good for it's like pinning down heroes or pinning down things which are quite killy, because of course with the high defence they're not going to go down too quick. So maybe 1 or 2 Vault Warden teams. Try and think about 3 heroes. If you're going for sort of a regular, are you going for sort of an old list, an old Durin's folk list? Of course you've got, you know, your Balin and your Dane. The heroes are reasonably cheap. So they're worth having a good look at, and then maybe trying to get up to sort of almost 3 full war bands. So maybe a war band of 999 or 1010 or whatever the maths comes up with. A couple of Vault Warden teams, and you know, I think with Iron Guard, like Iron Guard are really good, but they are expensive. So having a couple of those in there, a couple of Iron Guard. By that I don't mean two, maybe it's like a handful, because with the 2 attacks they can really sort of chop into a flank, and they can be the bit which sort of really gets stuck in. So yeah, I'm not a Dwarven player, but hopefully that helps a little bit. And question number 3 is, and as a nice little question to finish this week's loop, I thought I'd see how well you both know your army's generals. Oh, okay. So James, what is the name of Eomer's sword? I know this. This has been, and I answered this recently because it was a bit of trivia. It was a bit of trivia on Speak Friend and Question. Somebody asked me the question. It was one of those that I had to answer. Or was that for Theoden's sword? I can't remember. It's going to be one of those that's going to come back to me during this next hour. I'm ashamed. And then you put, Jamie, where did Legolas' nickname Greenleaf come from in the lore? I have no idea about that. Absolutely no idea. God, I feel like I should have researched these questions before answering them. Sorry about that. Wow, failed the test. Sorry, Hackathon. You put, thanks for all the great stuff you've done for us and the channel. You're very welcome. And I'm looking forward to loads of stuff you have planned for us, like Deadliest Hero, Monster and Battle Companies. And then you put, sorry for the very long comment, but you can both choose one the big one or 3 medium ones. I think 1 big one's absolutely fine. Okay, so next up we've got James Wilson. Hey James and Jamie, shame I missed Desolation of Stockport 2015, but me and my brother have already made plans to make the event in October. That's great news. Make sure you're there. It's going to be really good. Anyway, my question this week is, would a Great Beast of Gorgoroth be acceptable in a game without the archers on the back, as I prefer the model without the platform on its back? Thanks. It depends on the profile. Are the archers optional? Or are they not? If they are not optional, then no is the answer. I haven't got my rule books down here with me actually, they're upstairs, but I'm not going to go and get them. So if you do have to take them, then yeah, it's probably a good idea to have it on. And maybe you can do it so that it's not permanently modelled on. If you prefer the Great Beast as a model by itself, you can maybe like magnetise the howdah. In fact, I don't even know how the Great Beast is put together. So I've got absolutely no idea. But if in the profile it says that it's got this thing on its back and it's got archers in it and orc archers, and it's not an option, then I would probably say it's better to have that on there. Okay, so I hope that helps, James. Next up we've got Lord Lex. He's put, hey GBHL crew, I've been watching your channel for almost 8 months now and love all the content. Well, that's great to hear, buddy. It's great to see others with such enthusiasm for Lord of the Rings SBG. I've been playing on and off since the first box game Fellowship of the Ring came out back in the early 2000s. Ah, so a veteran. My first ever question. Wow. Well, what I would do at this point is say, Jamie, what does he have to do? And we'll of course tell you that you're now stuck in a loop, which means that you have to ask a question every single week. Not everybody adheres to their loop obligations. So anybody out there who knows that you should be in a loop, should be asking a question, get a question below. That's what this show is all about. You put, when will we see Deadliest Warband Season 2? Absolutely loved the first one. Thanks, fellows. Well, it's been very, very popular demand. Maybe we'll do something like that this year. Could be quite interesting. I think what we could do is maybe put a thing up on the GBHL podcast Facebook page where we ask people to submit what they think the deadliest warbands would be for various factions. Some of them are simpler than others, but others have been sort of up for, you know, there's been room for manoeuvre, as it were. You know, what would be Moria's deadliest warband? What, you know, should Isengard have had the crossbows, or should it all have been berserkers, or whatever else? You know, all these kind of little things. So yeah, maybe we'll put that out there to you guys. What do you think are the deadliest warbands? Are there any deadliest warbands that you think could have been deadlier based on their factions? So go and watch that series and let us know. So yes, hopefully sometimes this year. So next up we've got David Whitaker. He's put, here's some suggestions to help you with the tournament naming conundrum. So this is because, of course, we called Desolation of Stockport, which would have been 3.0, was called 2015, which has placed a bit of a problem for the Desolation of Stockport event at the end of the year. So some of his suggestions are Redesolation of Stockport. I like the Redesolation of Stockport 2015. Nice continuity. Desolation of Stockport with a Vengeance. That's quite cool. DOS 0.4. Yeah, we could do that, but then again, like I say, technically it isn't 0.4. Not Another Desolation and Stockport Redesolated. If those don't help, nothing will. Yeah, there's some good ones there. I like the Redesolation of Stockport. I think that works quite well. Redesolation of Stockport 2015. Simple, keeps continuity. Like I say, me and Jamie will have a chat. So next up, we've got Andreas, the Norwegian Viking. He's put, sorry about missing the loop last week. Hey, buddy, that's not very Viking-esque, is it? You never miss the loop, never miss the loop. You know the rules. You put, but I hope I have a couple of words from your favourite Vikings will make it better. I'm sure it will. Stockport seemed to be a great hit if measured by the positive comments streaming about on Facebook ever since the event. Yep, always the case. You know, just seems to be such a great vibe. I love being involved in running that event. Jamie is the same. It's just so exciting. So many new faces, sort of mixing together with old faces. Lots of really different armies, some great painted armies. Fantastic social, fun games. Just yeah, really cool. It's got a great buzz. You put counting the days for next year and saving £1 a day for the trip. Good man. Well, I look forward to seeing you here next year. You put onto my question, what makes a great rules pack for a tourney in your opinion? Again, keep up the great work, and although all in Norwegian, check out my gaming club's YouTube page. Also, we've got an impromptu scouring, so if you want to check out our Norwegian Vikings YouTube page, then go and look at the comments in the previous video and the link will be there. He's put, we'll do some videos in English soon though. Okay, that's great. Well, it's really good to see some new YouTube channels popping up. You know, feeling motivated and inspired and putting some content out there. So great stuff. Keep up the good work. So in terms of a great rules pack for a tournament, what makes a really good rules pack? Well, everything's got to be pretty clear. You know, clear schedule. I think the more complicated it is, you know, the harder it is. I think little things like just making it look nice is important. So like, I really like the way that Damien and Tom have done their 7 Stones one, and you know, there's fluff involved in it. So when you're reading it, it doesn't just feel like it's a tournament. It doesn't feel like just a cold wargaming tournament, but it feels like you're entering Middle Earth. And I tried to do that with the league final when I wrote that. Was, you know, put quite a bit of fluff in there, and I like things along those lines without trying to make it too complicated. And also sort of taking note of the sort of social side of it, I think is quite important. So these are all important bits of a rules pack. Okay, so next up we've got Josh Bejont. He's put, hey guys, ultra sorry that I haven't been in the loop for the past 10 weeks, but I've been too busy and or haven't had the inclination or what's your comment? Well, fine. Fine. That's fine. We don't mind. Our feelings aren't hurt. You put here, I was wondering, who do you guys think would win? Sauron, his mouth and the 9 named raves all upgraded, or the White Council in their souped up forms? Ooh, well, the White Council's quite broad, isn't it? You mean every single model that can be included in the White Council? Are you meaning like the new, when you say souped up forms, you mean like the latest White Council? Well, I haven't seen Banished in action, so I don't know how effective it is. You know, 9 named raves is a lot of raves, but you know, the new White Council is designed to be very anti-wraith. Do you know what? I have no idea. Maybe we should do that as a little bit of a who would win. What do you think? Would you like to see that video? Sauron, 9 named raves in the mouth versus the White Council in their souped up forms. Does that match in points? How many points do those come to? Someone let me know. I'm not going to do any research. But maybe we could do some of these who would win. Who would like that idea actually as a video format? Some like who would win formats. I believe that did Jamie and Ed do like a White Council versus the Wraiths? Did they do a bat rep like that? Have a little scouring of our own YouTube channel and have a little look. So could give you a few clues in there. So next up we've got Ian Marley. He's put, in response to an underrated model or profile, I'm tempted to say how dear. Very good shout, very good shout. So many other Wood Elf profiles are better for their points, so he is often missed, but he still fights 6 with an Elven Blade and gets 2 shots per turn. Love him in the movies and in the game. Yeah, I'd agree. He is probably an underrated profile. Jamie said the same. Jamie took him. Did he take him? Did he take him up to a Sterling event? The Sterling event that he won not last year but the year before. I think he might have done. and he said that he was his sort of most valued player, as it were, because he just sort of got along with doing the job because everybody focused on the other heroes. So yeah, good shout. And you put for the next DOS event, 350 points, escalation to 500 points, 8 games. I'm not sure I'd go into 8 games. I don't know if you think the same, Ian, but like, I do like playing smaller points cost games. I do, and of course it means you can get more games in. But I think like even 7 games is a lot of games, even with a small points game, because it does take it out of you when you're playing that many games like reasonably back to back. So I'm not sure I'd go for 8 games for the league final. I do like the idea of doing escalation. I'm not sure about doing the small points escalation. I really like 350, 400 points. I could do like a 400 to 800 points, maybe, or something along those lines. But I was thinking more sort of 500 to 750 or something along those lines. I really like the idea of being able to put some of the bigger toys in as well. But I'll have a good look when I get a chance. I'll have a good look and see what I think. Your suggestion for the tournament in October is Desolation of Stockport: The Second Age. I like that one as well. It's pretty good. And then you put, now on to my question. This is for James, as you're very kindly under possession of both my Hobbit supplements. Which of these is the best option? That's absolutely true. You left them in Northwest Gaming Centre. I did pick them up for you, pal. A, I send you some money so you can post these items. B, I send you some money so you can post these items. And forget. C, I'm best to collect when I'm next local. Sorry if I just in the comment section. That's absolutely fine. I'm notorious for getting stuff like this. I mean, how long did who was it? Oh my god, Sean. How long did I have Sean's SBG magazine for? A long time. Don't worry about posting money. It's just keep reminding me if you want it sent out to you and you need them. Just keep reminding me and pestering me, and at some point I will remember that I need to do that. I should just get them out, really. I think they're up there with my books. So unless of course you're planning on being down reasonably soon. Are you going to the doubles event? If you're going to the doubles event, I could always bring them down to the doubles event down in London. But just let me know. If you're planning on coming down here soon for some games, let me know, and that would of course be easier. But thank you very much, Ian. Next up we've got Awesome Wargaming. He's put, thanks for answering my question last week. Another dice question. What company did you get them from? And where were they made? I think, have we spoken on Facebook? I think we might have done. Just Google custom dice and tons of companies will come up. I think that ours might have been dice.co.uk or something as simple as that. But I know that a lot of people go to Chessex and these other ones. So just use Google. That's the best way. Next up we've got Nomagestus. Hello guys, my question for this week. What do you think of the Dark Marshal? I love the model. I really love the model. I like the idea of the profile. I like the like the banner reroll. He's more of a warrior one. He's got fight 6. So you'd think that he'd be a really good combat wraith, but the issue again, the issue is the hierarchy. If you're going to take combat wraiths, you probably would take Knight of Umbar all day, and maybe even Kumul, because they negate some of the issues with wraiths. And obviously the main issue for a combat wraith really is matching fight values and attacks and stuff like that, but also the ability to not lose will for being in combats. So I think Dark Marshal is good, but I don't think you see him as much because Knight of Umbar and Kumul are better combat wraiths. But I love the model. He's a great model. I personally think that he's the coolest looking named ring wraith. Yeah, I would agree. He's up there. I do like the Knight of Umbar aesthetic, though. I have to say, Knight of Umbar might be my favourite because I really like the idea that he's, that's to me what a Black Numenorian looks like. So you put, but not so sure if he's that strong in the battlefield. He's somewhat of a mixture of fighting and supporting wraith. Yeah, that's the thing. I don't think he's got a ton of will, and that's the issue. How many combats can you get him into? As always, greetings from Germany and keep up the great work. Absolutely fantastic. Thank you very much. Next up we've got Craig Bass. He's put, hi James and Jamie, my first ever question for you. You're now in the loop, pal. Make sure you ask a question next week. Craig Bass or Bass. Out of the 3 Astari, which is your favourite to use and why? I really like using Gandalf the White, I have to say. I know so many people say, he's very expensive. Of course, he is very, very expensive. Very, very expensive. but he's such a perfect combination of aggressive wraith and aggressive wizard and spellcaster and defensive. He's got a good mixture of offensive and defensive spells. Saruman is a lot more aggressive. A lot of people prefer going for Saruman because of his points. He's a lot cheaper, and he can really affect a game because he's got like 18-inch spells and stuff like that, which is phenomenal. So I think a lot of people like Saruman and would probably say Saruman for his points, but I've not used him yet, and I'm looking forward to doing him actually, because I'm going to experiment with a Rivendell Night Force I'm putting together. And that Rivendell Night Force, by the way, is for a very special event that all 4 of your GBHL hosts will be involved in, which is such exciting news that we're going to have to wait and release a video together when Jamie and I go down to Tom and Damien's doubles tournament, because it is worthy of the video that we released together. It's a fantastic opportunity. We're very thankful for those who have made this happen. If you are watching this and you know what I'm talking about, then be excited, because we are coming, but we can't announce it properly until we're all together. So I'm putting together a Rivendell Night Force for that, and I really like the idea of having Elrond and Gandalf and just a bunch of Rivendell Knights. I just think that's really cool. But it might, a lot of people who take Rivendell Knights, like James Braun, very good player, they seem to really go for the Saruman, and I wonder if there's a big reason behind that. So yeah, I would probably say Gandalf for me, because I've mainly used him. Radagast is of course very fun, very cool, but his role is completely different to the other wizards, I would say. So yeah, probably Gandalf for me. Good question for your first question, Craig. Next up, we've got Matt Patterson. He's put, "Hi guys, Desolation Stockport sounded fun. I wish I had the money to come visit." Yeah, now, well, start saving. We've got guys all over the world. You should put away a couple of £1 a day, and you should be able to do it no problem at all. Depending where you're coming from. Where are you coming from, Matt? Anyway, my question this week is more of a statement, but I watched the 3rd Hobbit movie again yesterday and noticed there are so many models that Games Workshop could be making, like the new armoured trolls, Bolg's orcs when he arrives, goblin mercenaries, and the dwarves on goats. So many options, but kind of gutted we aren't seeing any of them. Thoughts? Thanks anyway. Well, I think that I speak on behalf of most strategy battle gamers and say it is a big shame that we are unlikely to see these anytime soon. I'm still hopeful. I like the idea that maybe there will sort of be one sort of collective final supplement release, and usually when you do that you release some models along the same way. And I can't believe that they wouldn't plan to do a Dane model. Like, I can't believe that they wouldn't plan to do that. Unless it's just a case that they're that fed up because there have been so many changes. So for example, maybe they did have the Dwarven Cavalry. Maybe those Dwarven Cavalry were done on war pigs, and that's of course not like the movie at all. Completely not like the movie. And so they've just been like, well, do you know what, we can't release these, it's too different, we don't have the rams. And it could be the same with Dane. I know that originally he was meant to be on some kind of like warthog, and he ended up looking more like a battle pig. So it could just be that all of that's being redone and there's going to be a new supplement at some point. But I guess we've all just got to keep our fingers and toes crossed, because I've got absolutely no idea. So yeah, it is a shame. Hopefully we'll see more SBG models in the future. So next up we've got Ross Diggle. He's thought, how about keep Desolation Stockport for the spring tournament, have the Fall of Stockport for the autumn tournament? It being a play on the American way of saying autumn and desolation. It's a clever answer. The Fall of Stockport. The thing is, I think then it moves. Imagine you got the Fall of the Necromancer. I was going to say it moves a little bit too far away from sort of Lord of the Rings-esque imagery. Play on words. People think Desolation of Stockport, of course that's coming directly from Desolation of Smaug, isn't it? So it's trying to think of names which tie in like that. But thank you very much for your comment, Ross. Hopefully catch up with you soon, pal. Next up we've got Luke, and I've got no idea of how to say your second name. You'll have to let me know. So Luke, you put, hey James and Jamie, hopefully. Unfortunately he's not here. This is my first question, so I guess I'm in the loop now. You certainly are. I was thinking of building a post-War of the Ring Ithilien themed list. I'd like your opinions on this. Would I take new Legolas or old Legolas, and what would you recommend in this list? Thanks, guys. Why would Legolas be in Ithilien? Why would he? Is there something I don't know? People like to tell me. Like, the Wood Elves end up in Ithilien? Is that right? I've got no idea. Someone will have to let me know. Give me a little bit of an idea on the fluff. I'll go away and have a little look. But sort of, I'm not huge on what goes on after the War of the Ring. I know quite a lot of the stuff on the appendices, you know, First Age, Second Age, early Third Age and stuff, but I'm not really sure on the Fourth Age, so you'll have to get me up to date. But yeah, any kind of theme list is always cool. In terms of a new Legolas profile or the old Legolas profile, I guess you take the old Legolas profile, because the old Legolas profile is the most up-to-date chronological Legolas, whereas the new Legolas profile is before the old Legolas profile. It seems to be him when he's younger. So yeah, I hope that helps a little bit, but I'm not too sure the Ithilien fluff. So next up we've got Thomas Donoghue. He's put, greetings Melin. He's put, thanks for answering my question on Bolg. I completely agree with you, James. CGI has done well, it's awesome, but there's just something tangible about having a physical actor on screen. Yeah, I agree. My most underrated model is the humble Moria Goblin. Cheap, good movement over terrain, can be kitted out for different roles within shield, spear, bow, and they are coming. My question for this week is, how would you rank the movies in order of preference? Okay, but first of all, let's go back to underrated. See, I don't think Moria Goblins are underrated. I think that people know that they're good for the points, you know, and doing what they do. People do tend to use them in support of, you know, your elite goblins like Gundabad Black Shields or even Prowlers, and have them with a spear. But I don't think that people underrate them as much as, say, for example, Ian Marley's example of Haldir. I think Haldir is underrated because people tend to go for the other profiles. So yeah, very, very, very interesting. So you've put here, my question for this week, how do you rank the movies in order of preference? I really like The Two Towers. I really like... Two Towers is maybe my favourite. Then maybe Return of the King or Fellowship. That's tough. Let's just say Return of the King, Fellowship. Now, I really did enjoy the Fellowship when it came out. I loved all the prologue for that. All the Hobbit stuff. The Fellowship is good, and of course you've got Boromir. But I like a lot of the extended stuff in Return of the King, and obviously I've got the extended versions. So let's say Two Towers, Return of the King, Fellowship, then Unexpected Journey, then Battle of Five Armies, and then maybe Desolation of Smaug, maybe. I would probably go that order. But there are also a couple of fan-made films on YouTube made with the consent of New Line that are worth a watch. The Hunt for Gollum and Born of Hope. Have you seen these and what did you think? I don't think I've watched all of Born of Hope. I think I actually fell asleep, which sounds awful, but I did fall asleep while I was watching that. Just because I was tired, not because it was boring, and I was enjoying that. And I've not got round to watching Hunt for Gollum yet, but I will do. Yeah, I think it's really cool, really great that there are these fan-made films, you know, and it's very, very tough, of course, when you are making something in the style of, you know, what has been a movie which has got such a higher budget, and then have to do it on a low budget. So it's doing things like your orcs and stuff can be much tougher, but I think that they did an alright job. I honestly think they did an alright job. So I'll have to watch them a little bit more and give a bit of a better review. You put, Born of Hope was filmed at Weststow Anglo-Saxon Village down here in Bury St Edmunds. If you're a fan of Anglo-Saxon culture, then Suffolk is the place to be. Sutton Hoo near Woodbridge is another awesome site. Thanks again and happy strategy battle gaming. Yeah, I'll have to make the trip down. I've never been down there. I am into Anglo-Saxon culture and history and Dark Age history, so I'll have to come down and let you know when I'm coming down there so we can have a battle report. How's that sound? Okay, next up we've got Jamie Mystery Evans. He's put, hi James, disappointed I couldn't make Desolation of Stockport, but there's always next time. I agree. Yeah, this October. Let's get you down there, pal. Start planning now. How about calling it the Desolation of Stocktober? Do you know, I actually think that I wrote that down. I wrote that down somewhere, Desolation of Stoptober, or the duplication of Stockport. Anyway, on to my question. I also run my own business. It's been going for less than a year, but it's getting quite busy and it's taken up more and more of my time, which is a good thing, of course. It certainly is, yeah, can't complain. My question is, how do you find the time to run your business and engage in the SBG hobby, on top of your GBHL channel duties, planning, wedding, etc.? Truly, you are some kind of Superman. Well, clearly am. Got the t-shirt on. Tell me your secrets. Well, your business has been going for less than a year. I would not have been able to do any of this when my business was less than a year old. Remember, I started doing the channel with Jamie, is it a year and a half ago maybe? Year and a half ago. That's when we started. And by that time I'd already started to give myself more sort of time off, some more structured days off. And also the way that my business works, I mean, it's a bit different now that I've got the gym, but before it was very much admin was at home, and the front of the business was outdoor fitness classes. So the actual physical part and personal training, the actual physical part of the job was taking up maybe 30 odd hours, maybe 30 to 40 hours of the physical part, and then the admin side was another sort of 20 to 30 hours on top of that. But it did kind of mean that I could fit in, and let's say like on a Thursday, right, I've got a class in the morning and then I'm not doing my class, so then I could meet Jamie and do some filming. What we'll try and do is we'll try and cram as much filming into one bit as possible and then release that over time. So it does look like we're doing a lot more than what we are, but a lot of the time videos that are released sort of 3 weeks down the line have been filmed all in one go, you know, which is sort of how we tend to fill out our content. So we do our best. It is tough. It's been tough with the wedding coming up. Me and Jamie have been struggling to sort of get together recently, but hopefully that will change at some point. So yeah, we do our best, but I wouldn't have been able to do it when my business was less than a year old. The first year of your business is so important. And it's not that now isn't important, it's just that, you know, now I've structured my business, I've got other guys who are working for me, who are doing jobs and delegating things to them, so it does mean that there can be a little bit more time freed up. The issue with running your own business, of course, is that there's always work to be done, so it's just knowing and giving yourself certain cut-off points and saying, right, okay, yes, all these things need to be done, but they're not going to get done if I take 4 or 5 hours out today to work on the channel. So that's why I manage it. Thank you very much for your question, Jamie, and hopefully we'll see you in October. Okay, next up we've got Sackbot Tennis. But hi guys, my question this week is, do you think there could be a Game of Thrones strategy battle gaming? Thanks guys. Me and Jamie have discussed this before. It's probably a reasonably frequently asked question. Sorry, I thought my battery was running. I thought it said 1 minute, then it says 31 minutes. We've answered this question before. Game of Thrones, obviously a very popular fantasy world and story. The issue with Game of Thrones as a strategy battle gaming kind of format is that the war side of Game of Thrones is massed combat, so it would be more like a Warhammer thing. It'd be formations and stuff like that, and because it's not particularly high fantasy, you know, there are bits of it which are high fantasy, but a lot of it's kind of more alternate medieval fantasy, and sort of a lot of it's sort of meant to be War of the Roses-esque in terms of you know, the type of warfare, that there is a danger that a war game that was like that would feel a little bit too much like a historical game, if that makes sense. So I think that Game of Thrones, whilst it's a great setting and you've got some cool culture, lots of different factions, lots of really cool heroes, I think as a war game it would be quite difficult to do. Certainly as a skirmish game, then it would pretty much be all about heroes and bodyguards and stuff along those lines. And you'd have to try and find a way of getting sort of a lot of special rules about intrigue and things. I think that Game of Thrones works better as some kind of board game that, you know, but who knows, if someone can design a Game of Thrones war game, then I'd be well up for it. There are companies which do miniatures. Of course, I did get Jamie a Jon Snow model. when we went to Selwick, the Wargaming convention in London. So yeah, that's my answer on that. I don't think it lends itself particularly well to a war game, but if there's a way of doing it, then that'd be cool. Next up, we've got Barry O'Neill. It's Tandoori Barry. He's put, "Hey guys, sorry I didn't get a chance to post last week due to a hectic week post Destination Stockport, but I really wanted to say a massive thanks on yet another cracking tournament and weekend at Destination Stockport. It was brilliant seeing everyone again and meeting a lot of really great new guys as well. And thanks to Al and Ryan for the mention in last week's Speak Friend and Question. It was lovely meeting you, and I look forward to seeing you in October again. And thanks also to you, James, for the lovely compliment also, buddy. Much appreciated." Well, you know I love you, Barry. Felt like we didn't get to speak to each other enough because there's just so many guys there. But yeah, once again, very, very proud of the Destination Stockport event. It was really cool. And it was really great to see so many new faces and meet new people and meet guys from from the channel, from the comment section, like Al Wood, like Ryan Shady Shaw, like Akathon, like Wobchicker. So really, really good to meet all those guys and anybody I haven't mentioned as well. So yeah, Barry, good to have you back in the loop, and make sure you get a question next week. Next up, we've got Lost Control. He's put, "What are some of the troops you think become cheap when combined with a shade? I think it's obvious that Corsair Reavers are frowned upon, but where do you draw the line? I think, is there a consensus of what's acceptable with regards to the shade?" Yeah, I think there is. I think that most people would say that a shade fits in an Angmar army, and it's there because you've got rubbish, just basic orc troops. Your basic orc troop with low fight value, low strength, reasonably low defense. They're not amazing. So the shade is a buff to those awful troops. It's when you start bringing them with good troops, and the reason why it would be awful with Corsair Reavers is because of the 2 attacks, fight 5. It's the fight 5. So I think as soon as you start putting a shade in with armies that it's just not supposed to be in. So if you whacked a shade in with an Isengard army, I don't think you would do that. But if you whacked it in with an Isengard army, then that's going to be pretty awful from a theme point of view. I think putting it in with Moria, like goblins, isn't the worst thing in the world. But again, I think it's more designed to be with your troops and your basic Angmar troops. I think anything above that is reasonably frowned upon as being a sort of cheesy combo, because having a shade, it takes no skill to have a shade in your army. There is no skill involved. It really is there as a buff, and if you combine it with things that have got multiple attacks and higher fight value, like let's say for example you could put it in a good army, you could put it with elves and you have banners with your elves and stuff like that, then it's going to be pretty awful, isn't it? So that's my answer on that anyway. Don't do it. That's what I would say. So next up we've got Robert Canavan. He's put, "Hi guys, this is my first time asking a question on the channel." Wow, we've got loads of first timers this week. Great to get you involved in this Q&A. I gather there is some sort of loop thing. There certainly is. Make sure you ask a question next week, Robert. Recently started buying, collecting, painting SBG again, and this channel is largely to blame. Well, great stuff, and that's of course one of the main motivations behind this channel, is we want to get people back into the hobby, and we want to get people started in the hobby, because ultimately the hobby can only continue if there are people playing the game. So yeah, your next step now is to get your armies painted and get yourself to a tournament. You put, "My question is, how do I get my hands on some of those GBHL dice? I tried to get cheat-in EG dice, but they are out of production. Keep up the good work, Rob." Yes, they are out of production. The big blue dice, as they are now known, are out of production. So I'm very lucky that I got some of those when I did, because I think they're awesome. But in terms of the GBHL channel dice, I think at the moment we are just going to be selling them at tournaments that we go to, and when we're not selling as many through that, then we'll start thinking about posting abroad. But postage suddenly becomes a thing, and I'm sure guys wouldn't mind paying postage for them, but there's also the faff and the admin behind that. So yeah, get yourself down to the next Desolation event in Stockport in October, and that's where you can get your dice from. Definitely becoming a frequently asked question, that. So thank you very much for getting in the loop. Next up we've got George Baker. But "Why don't you call it an unexpected Stockport?" Nice idea. I like the theme with the Hobbit movies there. But the thing is, it is expected. people know that it's happening and that people are excited for it. So it's not unexpected. So that'd be the only reason for not going for that. Next up, we got Yam Sides, but I was painting while listening to the last Speak Friend in Question. Good, that's what it's here for. I hope you're not just there, glued in front of your screens, staring at the fact that I've not done my hair today. I'm trying to get this in while Jane is out. She's out for an hour doing a PT session. Of course, she's not going behind Biotic Fit's back and she's with like another PT. She's doing personal training with one of the guys who works for me. You know, I'm not going to do personal training for Jane. Anybody who's had to try and teach another half how to drive or anything like that, you know what I'm talking about. You put, I was wondering if there are any specific paints, colours you find yourself using constantly. Thanks and keep up the great work. Yes, I would definitely agree with that. I would definitely agree with that. I think there are certain paints, as I've become more experienced with painting, that I've become more comfortable with, and because I'm more comfortable with them, I use them more. So it's little things like how to highlight up to get a particular brown look, or how to highlight up to get a particular green look, or how to highlight up to get a particular red look. I have to say the red is the one that I'm most chuffed with at the moment. And I was also really chuffed with how I highlighted up my 3 Hunters cloaks, you know, getting that kind of worn, weathered-y, kind of almost yellow-y kind of look. So I would say almost certainly red. If you look at my last hobby vlog, the Rivendell Nights one, I found myself doing that kind of red a lot. You know, since Gimli, even doing it on the Sons of Ale, you know, on part of their cloth material. So yes, I think that is certainly the case. Next up, we've got Al Wood. He's put, "Hi James, I hope you're feeling better, mate. I won't ask about the blood test. I hope it came back all clear." Well, I've not heard anything, so I presume that's a good sign. But I will contact them just in case, because sometimes it could be like deficiencies. Although my diet's pretty good, so we'll just have to see. Thanks for asking after me. I do feel a lot more like me. I think the thing when you get ill and you're not used to getting ill, especially when it's happening over a period of time, because before I never got ill, I was always 110%, you know, my job to be 110%, and it was in my nature to be very positive all the time. But I think eventually it can sort of get you down. In the last week or so though, I've been feeling a lot more like me. My cough's still there, I'm sure you can hear. My chest is still a bit bad, but apart from that, I do feel better. I would like the points value to remain the same for the next Stockport event, but that's just me being lazy. If you do make it 750 points, then please give me as much notice as you can, as I will need to get some painting done. Well, what you might find, my friend, is that if there is any kind of escalation going to sort of higher points value, then it'll be something to do with, like, you've got a certain percentage of your force, or a certain number of points have to be made up by 1 or 2 heroes, or whatever that is. So it shouldn't make it too difficult for you to paint. You asked which army I might do if I don't bring my all-mounted Gondor. It would probably be Ithilien, as that was the next Gondor project I wanted to do, and I have all the figures for it, but some need painting. I like Faramir, as he really is a good guy, but his father doesn't see his qualities. But I'm not that keen on creating an Osgiliath force. I'm not sure what Ryan will be bringing. Al. Okay, so yeah, I think an Ithilien force is quite cool. Just theme me forces. I really liked your army because I love the fact that it replicated a moment in the movies that everybody can relate to, as it were. Everybody can relate to that moment. Everybody understands that moment. The moment where Faramir has to, you know, lead the charge of the knights toward, you know, and it's a forlorn hope. So everybody identifies and recognises that from the movies. So that's why I really liked your army, and it's one of the same reasons why I wanted to put together an all-mounted Rohan force, is because everybody can sort of identify with, you know, the charge of the Rohirrim at the Pelennor, or when the Uruk-hai are swept aside from Helm's Deep when Gandalf arrives. You know, everybody can identify with that. Everybody loves that. So I think going for something cinematic is cool. I think an Ithilien force is very cinematic, so I think that'd be really cool, really good. But yeah, I look forward to seeing you in October, Al. It'd be good to catch up. Hopefully get a bit more time to sort of have a drink and that together. That'd be nice. Next up, we've got William Farquharson. He's put, I hope I'm not too late. No, you are not. I'm actually filming this on Sunday, because I was hoping today. One of my clients, she's gone to go and play in a cup final in a place called Matlock, which isn't too far from Nottingham and Derby. And I informed Jane that I was going to go and do that. And what I was going to try and do was meet up with some guys, because it is not too far from Mansfield, meet up with like Dan Edwhistle and a couple of other guys, meet up at Slayer Games in Mansfield, and maybe film Speak Friend Question, maybe film Battle Report. But I got told off last night by Jane when I told her. She was like, "You're still recovering. You're not better yet. You need your recovery. You're stupid. You need to have a lie-in. Michelle will understand. She's seen that you've not been well." So I had a lie-in this morning instead. And so I'm sorry for any of those guys who are meeting up in Mansfield who are expecting to play against us, but it's good that you have an impromptu Hobbit meeting as a result of that. So yeah, that's why it's left to today, because I was hoping that I'd be able to have somebody, next to me. They'd be here, because I'm always on this side. So yeah, that's why Speak Friend and Questions being filmed on Sunday. You put, why do you think Games Workshop shut the forum down, part of the website back in the day? I personally was never part of it, but I heard the community on there used to be huge. Why would you as a company shut down the communication between customers? It seems odd to me, but I don't know much about it. I think the reason why Games Workshop has done that is because they're such a large company. Forums and comments, because I know that they disabled the comments on YouTube. And I know all about this stuff, because I wasn't around when Games Workshop had a forum. But I know about this kind of thing and how they communicate with their customers, mainly because of watching Matt sit and talk from miniwargaming.com, and sort of him talk about the lack of communication between Games Workshop and its fan base and its customer base. And I think that's because the internet can become a pronounced place for negativity. I think that's one of the reasons why they shut it down, because of the amount of negativity about some of the decisions they're making. I mean, you only have to go on the One Ring, when I went a couple of years ago, and the admins, and myself included, and a lot of the guys, your Southern Dunedain and your Deadmarsh Spectre and UK Freddy Bear and all these guys, it was very much a thing of, shutting down negativity, because they can just become places for people to moan, and negativity ultimately breeds the death of things. So I can see, I don't agree necessarily with Games Workshop doing that. I think that it's important to engage with your customers, but I think it's more to do with the fact that they can become the target of a lot of negativity, and then it's that voice is the one that gets seen, and people see that, new customers see that and don't want to get involved in it. So that's probably why. I think Jamie's given you a bit of an answer underneath as well about that. And then you put, and James, you're absolutely right. Speak Friend and Question is the most important show on the channel, in my opinion. Thank you very much. It keeps people engaged on a regular schedule, and I don't have that it's easy to fall out of the hobby, as we don't all get to play as much as we'd like. Yeah, if you don't have it, that it's easy to fall out. Yeah, well, I would agree. That's the main reason for doing it. One, it gives you has given you guys a good opportunity to get to know Jamie and I, and understand the personalities behind the channel. And ultimately, if you like the people who are presenting to you, and you understand what makes us tick and who we are as people, you're more likely to be invested in us when we're filming battle reports and doing Hobbit stuff. And ultimately, any kind of media, personality is incredibly important. So Speak Friend and Question is great, because you get to know us, we get to know you as well, so we get to understand our I know you're not customer based because you're not buying anything, but you know what I mean. We get to understand our viewership, our subscribers, and see what makes you guys tick, and you guys get to feel like you're talking to us and that you're in the hobby. And when you don't get to play this game as often as you would like, because of course there aren't millions of Hobbit SBG players, there are thousands, and that's spread out over the world. So it does mean it keeps you in the hobby loop in your mind. So it is an important show, I'd agree with that. So thank you very much, William Farquharson. Next up, we've got Hobbit Tabletop Liga. These are our channel in Germany, who do a great job. It is in German, so I don't get to watch too much of it, because unfortunately my German isn't very good. Or I would love it to be better. I would love my German to be better. And I know that we've got a lot of German subscribers, apparently, so it would be really good for some of you to teach me some stuff. I know some basic stuff. I think I can count in German. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I think that's as high as I can get. I can say goodbye, auf Wiedersehen, and I can say thank you, like danke, dankeschön, and bitteschön, and all that kind of stuff. But I would love to be able to talk. I'd love to be able to talk in any language. That'd be really cool. You put, James, we are quite disappointed. Of course you do have a big German fan base. Of course. Brilliant. That's good to hear. GBHL is a big inspiration for all strategy battle gamers all over the world, German, Swiss and Austrian gamers included. Well, that's really great to hear. That's really, really good to hear. And you know, we do see it on the channel. It's really good when, you know, we hear that there are guys in Canada, that there are guys in Germany. Of course, we've had tons of guys from Holland. Maybe in the next Speak Friend question, if you watch this all the way through, maybe write down where you're from. You know, at the bottom, that's always really interesting. Just sort of see where all of our strategy battle gamers are coming from. So we've got 2 more questions. So it looks like I'm going to do this in under an hour. I'm getting good at this. That's right. Good stuff. We've got J22. This is going to be my doubles partner down in doubles. So I'm looking forward to meeting you and looking forward to our theme. You put, hey guys, notice on the FB page a question on models armies not used commonly on the tournament scene. One that popped up was Sauron the Necromancer, Orc Captains and Orc Shamans leading Mordor Orcs, well, with the Captain Shaman and Orcs being upgraded to Dol Guldur Orcs. Having never seen this army before, what's the reason it's not seen often? On paper, it seems fairly fun. Thanks again for all the great content. Well, I've got no idea why it's not done often. It's never been anything that's ticked me. It could be that people aren't massively keen on the fluff. Maybe the upgrade is too expensive for what it does. I don't know. Is it a fight value upgrade for Dol Guldur Orcs? Does it make them fight 4? Something along those lines. I have seen the Necromancer a fair bit though. The Necromancer's popped up in the last year or so. You know, and of course, if people take Orcs, you always see Orc Shamans and sometimes Orc Captains and stuff. But yeah, I think it would be really cool, very nice themed force, and certainly a bit different, so hopefully we see a little bit of that at some point. Next up we've got Phil Wordsworth. He's put, hopefully this gets in on time. It certainly is. This one is more for James. Do you think it's worth taking 2 warbands of Warriors of Rohan led by Aerin on foot and a Captain of Rohan, or maybe Grimbold? I'm wondering if I should add this to my force of 10 Sons of Baal led by Erkenbrand and a warband of Riders of Rohan led by a Captain. Force leader is Aemma Knight of Pelennor. Cheers and keep up the good work. Who is Aemma leading? Aemma doesn't appear to be leading anybody. I would get Aemma definitely leading somebody. I would drop your captains. Captains of Rohan are pretty awful. So Warriors of Rohan aren't amazing. It has to be said. I know that. Sorry, excuse me. And I would say that, you know, if you're going to take a Warrior Rohan force, then you spam it because they're reasonably cheap. So you're basically spamming and effectively hoarding an army, hoarding them. Now Jamie is a fan of making them a little bit more expensive and hoarding throwing spears and having all foot Rohan. I think he just does that to tick me off, to be honest. But the other way of doing Rohan infantry is, of course, getting your Royal Guard, getting a banner in there, shielding along the line, and using your cavalry to, you know, you really do have a true hammer and anvil. You're reasonably strong force. Oh, how long have I got left? Charge the battery pack. Right, quick. Quick, plug in. Don't die. Are we in? Oh, sorry, excuse me guys, the battery pack is dying. Now the camera won't stay still because Jamie has got my... What the hell? Jamie has got my... There we go. I'll just have to film from here instead. Jamie's got the little plate thing that screws in, that screws the camera to the top of the tripod, so sorry about that. So yeah, so I think, yeah, then you get like a true hammer and anvil when you've got like, obviously, your bodyguarded, fight for Royal Guard, you know, who aren't going to go down easy because of the defense 6. They're not going to be killing much with the strength 3, but that's not really what they're there for. They're there to sort of engage with the enemy and try and win fights. So you shield with them and you have a banner, so you get 3 dice and you're rolling more dice that way, and you use like your Sons of Ale and stuff to hit the flanks. And of course you use your Rides of Rohan, your Westfold Red Shield upgrades to sort of pepper pot the enemy. So I would sort of drop your captains. I think it's tough to sort of, if you want to bring 2 warbands of Warriors of Rohan, try and get Eowyn on a horse, it's worth it. Drop your captains, have Aomer leading some of your Sons of Ale, maybe mix in some of your Sons of Ale with your Rides of Rohan, upgrade them to Westfold Red Shields. But ultimately, you know, you've got to go and do what you want to do, what you like. You know, if everybody spends the whole time optimising lists, then you end up with a lot of lists which are very much the same. And really, you know, variety is the spice of SBG. Okay, so the final question this week, and we've got 5 minutes before the hour, so it has been an hour-long show. Woohoo! Done good there. It's from TK. He's put, greetings from Canada, guys. First time commenting here. Brilliant. Loads of first time commenters today. That's what we like to hear. So just want to say, great work with the channel. You really got me interested in the game. I was collecting the miniatures since the Lord of the Rings movies, but they were mostly display and hobby purposes. I have yet to play an actual match after owning models for over 10 years. Oh, hopefully you manage to get a game, because it's a fantastic game. The models are great, and I can understand people who get involved in the Lord of the Rings SBG and Hobbit SBG just because of the gorgeous models, but it's good if you can then get to play with your toys. That's even better. So here's my question. It's a pretty small tight community here in Canada, and my friends aren't interested in the game. So how does someone like me, who's such a newbie to the game, get involved and start playing? I've read the rules, but until I play an actual game, I don't really feel confident in my knowledge to enter a tournament. Any suggestions would really be appreciated and help me out. Thanks a lot, guys. Keep up the good work. Love the videos. Well, welcome to the channel. Really good that you're getting involved, and that we are motivating and inspiring you. Now, lots and lots of people. We had a bunch of people who came to Desolation of Stockport, who contacted us beforehand and said exactly the same. That, you know, my knowledge of the game isn't good enough to come to a tournament. I think the word tournament implies, well, there is an implication that it's there for competitive play. But the way that the tournaments are structured means that, you know, if you are there to learn the game, you end up playing against other people who are there for, you know, the fun of it, really, because, you know, the guys who are winning all of the games and playing competitively end up playing each other because of it's Swiss ranked. A lot of them are. Sometimes you get random opponents, but so yeah, that one thing that we find is that a lot of guys who come to tournament who just, you know, we convince them to come down and try it out, and they come away afterwards like, you know what, it was great, everyone was really friendly, everyone was really helpful. I think it's important for people not to be shy to turn up to these events. I ultimately think of them as, you know, conventions or events where you get an opportunity to play with your toys and meet other people who play with the toys and paint the toys. You know, these are the painting, and if you're a hobbyist, the painting and the hobby side of it is just as important, and is just, you know, for a lot of people who come to these tournaments, they're coming because they want to show off their armies and look at other people's armies and see what techniques they've done with their painting and how they've converted things. And, you know, that is a huge part of Lord of the Rings strategy battle gaming. So don't be afraid to go to tournaments. Very important, you know, if you live in somewhere like Canada, that you find other people who are willing to do the same. So use the One Ring Population Finder, use the Great British Hobbit League Facebook group. There's a population sort of finder part of that where you can find other people who are from around your area, and you've got to be willing to travel a little bit. You've got to be willing to travel. Check out local gaming groups, and again, don't be afraid to sort of play other people's games in order to, you know, introduce them to the Hobbit. So maybe you know that there's a few people who play 40k in your area, and ask any of them if they've got Hobbit armies. Most people who are into sort of fantasy, generally some kind of fantasy, will have some kind of thing with Lord of the Rings, because a lot of fantasy comes from Lord of the Rings. So I know for a fact that there are a lot of people out there who have got Lord of the Rings army who never play Lord of the Rings and never get those armies out because they don't think there are that many players. So maybe ask around and just see, you know, is there anybody who's got a Hobbit army? Maybe I could play you a game of 40k if we can play a game of Lord of the Rings, and, you know, that's not a bad way to go, really. So good luck with that. Let us know how you get on. Hopefully you'll find some players. If there are anybody, well, I know that we've got lots of subscribers in Canada, so if anybody wants to contact TK and see whereabouts he lives and get together with a game of him, get that done. So that does bring us to the end of this week's edition of Speak Friend and Question. I hope you've enjoyed the show, and I hope you've enjoyed me answering the questions and muddling through it, as we always do. Hopefully next week we'll have Jamie back. We'll keep our fingers and toes crossed for that, and in the meantime, don't forget to comment, like, share and subscribe. to support your Hobbit hobby. Follow us on Facebook and on Twitter. And as ever, Strategy Battle Gamers, happy strategy battle gaming.